This is the review lecture for Theater 200, quiz number 2. For those of you who weren't in class this week, I emailed a study guide to you. If you did not receive it, please let me know. Question number 1. Theater in Western civilization can be traced back to which city in Greece? Athens. Greek drama, number 2. Greek drama was performed at festivals honoring which god and what was he the god of? The festivals were held in honor of Dionysus, who is the god of wine and fertility and theater. Number 3, by the 5th century BC, how many festivals were held in Athens for Dionysus? 4. At 3 of those festivals, theatrical performances were presented. Number 4, what was the major festival honoring Dionysus? The city Dionysia. It was held in the spring of the year. Number 5, in what year was the first recorded theatrical event in Athens, and which actor or playwright won for the first competition? That year was 534 BC, and the winner of the first competition was a man named Thespis. And from his name, we get the word thespian, which theater people like us are often referred to as. Number 6, how many playwrights competed in the festival each year? This is the city Dionysia, the Dionysian festival. How many competed in the festival each year during the 5th century BC? How many plays did each write? And how many tragedies survived? And who wrote them? That's a lot. Okay, first of all, 3 playwrights participated in the city Dionysia. Each of them wrote 4 plays. 3 of the plays that they wrote were tragedies, and one was something called a satyr play. Of the plays that were written, the tragedies that were written during the 5th century BC, 32 survived, and they are all written by 3 playwrights: Sophocles, Aeschylus, and Euripides. Number 7, which playwright wrote Oedipus the King? What often impacts the themes of Greek tragedy? Sophocles brought us Oedipus the King. And the thing that impacts the theme of Greek tragedies is mortals interfering with the will of the gods. Gods make prophecies. If you remember in Oedipus, that devastating prophecy that the gods gave to Oedipus was that he would kill his father and marry and have children with his mother. Throughout the play, efforts were made to avoid this prophecy, and that brought about the tragic circumstances of the play. So, in Greek tragedy, when mortals try to interfere with the will of the gods, the outcome is always tragic. Number 8, Oedipus was the king of what city, and what is Oedipus's wife's name? Oedipus is the king of Thebes, and his wife slash mother is named Jocasta. Number 9, what is the scene house in the theater of Dionysus called? The scene house is the skene, Skene. It is a facade. It's unchangeable. It is the background for which all of the plays were performed. Number 10, how many speaking actors, not including the Greek tragic chorus, were in Greek tragedies? 3 speaking actors were in these Greek tragedies. They played all of the main characters, men as well as women, and what aided them in changing these characters as rapidly as they needed to throughout the course of the play was that they were all masked. They wore masks. What are the 2 functions, or what are 2 functions of the Greek tragic chorus? The Greek chorus appeared after every episode in the play. You remember, in the structure of a Greek tragedy, we had a prologue, immediately followed by an appearance of the chorus. The chorus appeared to comment on the previous scene, to help to guide the audience through the story. They also acted as a single character. The effort was to make the chorus all look alike. They moved and spoke in unison. So the power of that single character, represented by these 15 identical actors, was very powerful. Also, the chorus served for the playwright as the ideal spectator. They laughed when things were funny, they gasped when something tragic or shocking happened, and their responses were the responses that the playwright hoped for in writing the play. Another purpose or impact that the chorus had was in helping the audience understand the passage of time. When the chorus appeared, their time on stage could have been only 5 minutes, but during that passage, it was understood that hours could have passed during that time. All right, we are now at number 12. What is the name of the Greek Comedy Festival? And how many playwrights competed each year? How many plays did each write? 50 years after the first city, Dionysia, the Athenians created a comedy festival also in honor of Dionysus. It was called the Lenaya. Each year in the winter, five dramatists participated, and each dramatist only wrote one play. Number 13, how many Greek comedies survived and who wrote them? The surviving Greek tragedies, of which there are 11, were all written by Aristophanes. It's important to remember that at this time, prior to 402 BC, these were considered old comedies. Old comedies. Those are the surviving comedies of that period. Number 14, the plot of early Greek comedies, known as Old Comedy, revolves around what? Plot of old comedies is driven by something called a happy idea, which is a far-fetched, almost inconceivable premise that the plot is based on. All right, number 15 takes us to theater in Rome. And in Rome, theater and various types of competitions, not always artistic, were more or less organized together. These were called ludi, which translates to games. It was always a festival in honor of gods, not necessarily Dionysus, but these were theater festivals or art festivals. Comedy was very popular among the Romans, more so than tragedy. The Romans, this is number 16, the Romans hired this Greek playwright to rewrite Greek plays. The Romans were great assimilators. If they saw something that they liked, they took it and adapted it for themselves. This happened with theater, especially theater that was written by the Greeks. The Romans acknowledged the quality of Greek tragedies and comedies more so, but they felt that they were not up to the Roman standards. They had a very high opinion of themselves. So they hired a Greek playwright by the name of Livius Andronicus to rewrite Greek plays to make them more acceptable to Roman tastes. Number 17, which Roman playwrights wrote comedies and who wrote tragedies? The Roman comic playwrights, two of them, um, were Plautus and Terence. The playwright who gave us tragedy in Rome is Seneca. So Plautus and Terence wrote comedies, and Seneca wrote tragedies. Number 18, what Roman comedy inspired Shakespeare's A Comedy of Errors, and who wrote the play? The play, written by Plautus, was called the Menachmi, and it inspired A Comedy of Errors. It's a story of twins who are separated at birth. One searches for the other throughout their youth. And at one point, the two of them wind up in the same city. Instances of mistaken identity and confusion over who is who kind of drive the comedy of this play. Number 19, broadly speaking, according to our text, what are the three phases and dates of the medieval period? The medieval period or the Middle Ages, according to our text, is divided into three phases. Early, which spans from 900 to 1050, high from 1050 to 1100, and late from, sorry, that's wrong.